everybody. Saturday morning / afternoon here in Pennsylvania. Out cruising around. Wanted to try and set myself up with a decent environment for this next vlog. It's pretty crappy out here today. Super overcast. There was a little sun shining this morning, but that has since disappeared. Forecasts are saying that there's like a 90 to 100% chance of rain following the 1 o'clock hour. It's currently 11:33. I was hoping to try and go out and find a parking lot. I have a few other locations. Here's a cool Duramax. You guys can see that dually coming at you, Andy. I was hoping to find a cool parking lot that I could kind of nestle out in to do this vlog. But being that it is going to rain here shortly and there are windy conditions out there, I really didn't want to jeopardize the quality of the video. So I hope you look forward to today's video, and let's get started. Color matching 101. This is my third vlog, still trying to kind of get used to doing this, but I have been enjoying it. I really appreciate all the feedback that I got from everybody on the past two videos. I definitely consider myself still definitely in the amateur classification, but I think that I'm getting a little bit better as we go. A lot of people ask, why color match? Well, color matching a truck is kind of like doing a lip kit to a car. Or some sort of an aero kit to, like a performance vehicle. It really gives a diversified look to what is a vehicle that anybody can buy from the factory. And, the two biggest merits to going out and color matching a truck is obviously the aesthetics and the looks. I personally think that a color matched truck pulls itself together in more of a completed fashion than one that isn't color matched. Again, that's all personal preference. Again, a lot of the people, out in the truck community do want to consider color matching. Personally, I wanted to do it because I just thought that my truck looked like every other Chevy Silverado Duramax that was lifted on the road with black wheels. They do offer the Z71, which actually looks very similar to this truck, but in my defense, I'm gonna pat my back a little bit here and say that the way that I color matched my truck was done prior to the release of what is the white or black Z71 Duramax that you can buy from the factory today. So another perk to color matching your truck is the ability to kind of do it as you please. So you can do different components, different colors. Hopefully you keep them kind of simple. I wouldn't advise going out there and making the grille like one color and then your bumpers another color. I mean, again, that's just personal preference. That's what's nice about being an automotive enthusiast. But it really gives you the ability to kind of get creative and really give your truck a unique look. And that kind of just cascades into the differentiation. Ultimately, anybody can go out there and make their truck look just like somebody else's that maybe they found online, on YouTube, on Instagram, Facebook, etc. But what I try to do personally when I'm out modifying a vehicle is kind of give it my own flavor, right? Dabble on my own little, inherent characteristics to the truck. And ultimately, that just gives me the ability to get creative, but also maybe inspire other people that are out looking to modify their vehicle as well. All right, so now you have yourself set up with a vehicle and you decided that you want to color match it. Now, you have to kind of enter into this new realm of consideration of options for color matching. So, in my mind, there's really 4 options. And again, I'm not married to any of these. I personally chose to do the one that I chose because of reasons that I'll get into in a minute. Ultimately, you have one of 4 options, and I'm gonna kind of go in no chronological order here, but you can do Plastidip, you can do vinyl, you can do some sort of a Rhino line powder coat, or you can choose a paint option, right? Which is kind of the most ideal in any scenario. Run through the 4 options, and they're in absolutely no sequence. The first one that we'll choose is Plastidip. So, pros to Plastidip are that it's affordable, it's accessible, you can do it yourself, and you have the ability to ultimately remove the Plastidip in a sensibly easy fashion if you don't like it. So, I personally don't have any experience with Plastidip. I tried to Plastidip some emblems on my first car when I was like 16, and it turned out looking like absolute crap. So I decided to completely retire that idea from any one of my adventures going forward. But I do know a few individuals kind of in the truck and car community that have chosen to do this route. And honestly, I think some of their work turned out incredibly well. You know, I haven't seen any of it in person, so I can't attest to it up close and personal, but from photos, looks great. I mean, one would never even be able to tell that, you know, it was paint versus Plastidip, and I guess maybe some of the filtering options help with that, but that's not me bashing those individuals. I just can't personally speak to the quality of it up close. Now, cons to Plastidip, in my opinion, it's super hard to use. I could never get it to apply on kind of a very even application. Secondly, I would say the overall finish and kind of the quality in which the Plastidip holds up. So as you know, it's just a thin layer of film that gets applied that's rubberized to any given surface. Personally, I think that it's good for a temporary use, but I think that if you're looking to invest in something kind of for the long haul, Plastidip is definitely not your best option, as washing it could easily kind of remove it from its surface. Plus, I think that it stains and kind of tarnishes over time. All right, so option number 2, vinyl wrap. Now, vinyl wrap is basically just a roll of a materialized film that comes in any given color that you might want to try and obtain, that ultimately has an adhesive backing and gets applied to any you know, dry clean surface. So as you are all aware probably that are in the automotive community, vinyl wrap is becoming increasingly popular to differentiate the different aspects of the exterior of a vehicle, right, in terms of kind of a color way. People are vinyl wrapping things as small as emblems to as large as their entire vehicles and everything that kind of falls within that spectrum. So some of the merits of vinyl wrap. A, it's more affordable than the other options that are going to follow after we discuss this one. And B, it gives you tons of flexibility. So you can get it installed. You can kind of utilize it for any given point of time at which you're content with kind of the appearance of having the vinyl wrap on your vehicle. And ultimately, if you ever get sick of it, or if you ever want to change it up per se, which I know that we all do in the automotive community, it's almost like we get really excited to do something and then we do it. We ride it out for a duration of time, whether it's short or long, then we strip it off or we change it up because that's kind of what makes us crazy, right? So vinyl wrapping, personally, I really like the fact that it's very flexible. You can get it installed on your vehicle, and then you can change your mind down the road if you want to change it up. Now, some cons to vinyl wrap, and ultimately the only 2 cons that I could really think of were the limited options of colorways. So for me, I own a white truck. It was very easy to find a film that was very, very close to the paint color on my truck. And the other con, ultimately, is it's a complete bear to install. I tried vinyl wrapping just my emblems the other day. I wish I could say that they came out looking a little bit better, but they totally didn't. Luckily, I bought extra material, so I can always just peel it off and do it again. Now, the third option that I wanted to jump into was, I kind of categorized these 2 options into one, powder coating or rhino lining. So I personally don't have much experience with this, and when I was in pursuit of shopping the different options for color matching, I didn't look into this one personally. I do know a few individuals that went out and actually rhino lined their bumpers. So rhino liner is the material that is in the bed of the truck. I don't know if you guys can see back there. I do have a rhino lined bed liner. It's actually the liner from the factory, but it's a very similar material composition. It's very nice because it increases the structural rigidity of the surface in which it's applied. So kind of powder coating and rhino lining material come out of kind of a gun type of application, so it's a spray type application. That's why I'm kind of talking about them together. As you all know, powder coating comes in tons of different options. I don't necessarily know the stipulations to how it is applied. I don't know if it can go on to chrome or if the chrome on a pre-existing chrome bumper needs to be removed. But I do know a few of the individuals that I connected with through Instagram that are living kind of out in the elements per se. Those that live, I guess you could say, up in Canada and even the Northeast per se, where we get kind of exposure to a lot of road debris in the winter and corrosive materials, have chosen this route. Now, those are both black vehicles, but I do know that Rhino-Liner does come in alternative color options. From the look of it, it's pretty unique. It gives a little bit more of a rugged type of kind of appearance to the vehicle. As you know, Rhino-Liner is not smooth, whereas powder coating is a smoother finish. That is an option. So ultimately, I would say the pros of this are durability, definitely, for both powder coating and Rhino lining. Protection would definitely be another one. And longevity, right? So really, you're gonna cement yourself with a solid foundation. Cons to this are the availability. So I personally don't know anyone, at least in the proximity of my area, that would accomplish this kind of work. But again, that's probably something that could be that could be simplified through a simple Google search. Secondly, lack of flexibility. So you can't go out there and remove it down the road if you so choose to change your mind. And third, I would say cost. All right, so the fourth and final option would be to get painted. So basically, paint is probably the most preferred, definitely the most well-known. Just there's a little bit of confusion around the process by which getting something chrome painted takes place. So ultimately, anything that has a chrome finish on it actually needs to go through a bathing process. Ultimately, the bathing process is a multi-step process that removes any pre-existing chrome coating off of any sort of surface, so that way the body shop can prepare the items for paint. So pros with paint, definitely the overall fit and finish, I'd like to call it, with the way that everything kind of looks and how it matches to the car. I'd also say that if you have the willingness to get it painted or go with the paint option and then have a clear bra wrapped around the painted objects, that is definitely your most protected method. Cons to painting would definitely be cost. There's no doubt about that. It's going to probably be the most expensive option that you could pursue to get something color matched. And then another con to paint is that if you don't decide to do some sort of a clear bra, then you're going to be susceptible to serious rock chipping. I mean, it doesn't take much to chip paint off of a steel surface. So let me go a little bit into the detail of my own story. So I decided to choose a vinyl wrap option. So I did shop painting, but I was just totally deterred by the cost. I mean, I was getting some estimates that were upward of $2,500 to get it done, and it really didn't make much sense to me because I didn't want to spend $2,500 on a paint job and then another $1,000 to get the newly painted items wrapped in some sort of a clear bra for protection. So I went out and I shopped around few local vendors for vinyl wrap, and this is where things get absolutely crazy. So a lot of people ask me how much I paid for vinyl wrap, and to those people that ask, I'm sorry that I haven't replied to you, because ultimately telling this story to you would take entirely too long, and I've already done it to entirely too many people. That's why I'm making these vlogs, to try and cover general questions that pertain to tons of people, right? So I went and shopped 3 shops. They wanted to charge me roughly $1,200 to get the vinyl wrapping done. I said, okay, that's not that bad. And at that point, I had considered probably not even doing it, because I just didn't really want to spend $1,200 on, laminate per se, when I could spend it on other more enjoyable items. So I was going to go to one more location. It was a new shop that had just opened up around the corner from my house. I pulled in there, I showed them, I kind of reviewed with them exactly what I wanted to get done, took them outside, reviewed over the truck, and they said that it absolutely wouldn't be a problem. They said they were going to charge me $250. Yes, $250. Let me say that one more time. I paid $250 to get all of the vinyl wrap done on my truck. Now, personally, I feel like I took that place to the cleaners, and I'm not going to disclose any names because they actually told me kind of upon completion of the wrap that I had totally robbed them in probably the most legitimate legal way possible. And again, that's not attributed to something that I did at all. That was really just their lack of experience in giving kind of fair quotes or appraisals. So I love my vinyl wrap. I've had it on the truck for, I don't know, probably about a year and a half now. There are certain areas that have started to kind of fold up, but again, I'm not complaining about that because of the cost in which I paid for it. I maintain it with Simple Green or just, you know, typical car wash soap, and it's held up incredibly well. I do have a few chips on it, but I look at those chips now and I just kind of laugh because they're just something that's completely unavoidable on any vehicle, and I knew that they were going to happen. And I'm happy I chose vinyl wrap now, because once my wrap gets to a condition where it just you know, it doesn't look as good, I'm just gonna again rip it off and then swap it right out for some new wrap. So I would definitely recommend vinyl wrap to anybody considering it, and to anybody that can go out and get the proper color to match their vehicle. All right, so being that it's really a crappy day outside, I don't have the ability to voice over any quick overviews of the actual wrap itself. So you guys can just enjoy some music and then see what the final result is. And as always, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like it. If you haven't already, please subscribe and enjoy the rest of your day.